Hey, what up, guys? Time for another edition of Headline News. I'm your host, Total Control 871. Let's do it. All right, today I am coming to you from CBS Philly. And this is a very interesting little tidbit we have today. New Jersey lawmakers pass $15 an hour minimum wage bill. Sounds pretty good at first. Let's take a closer look and see exactly what's going on. Alright, so in Trenton, New Jersey, and it reads, New Jersey lawmakers on Thursday passed legislation that would raise the state's minimum wage to $10.10 in the next year and to at least $15 over the next 5 years. Wah wah. 5 years. The legislation now goes to Republican Governor Gov Christie, who has been critical of the proposal and said it would cost businesses and residents in the form of higher costs. I think Christie is putting on an act when he says that. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, though. If we were enacted, the New Jersey would become the third. If it were enacted, New Jersey would become the third state on the direct path toward a $15 an hour minimum wage, the highest in the nation. New York and California have enacted similar measures. Other states, New Jersey included, have already linked their wage to inflation. I haven't felt it. Democrats who control the state house and liberal groups praise the passage. Praise them. This is a great day for New Jersey's working class families struggling to make ends meet. Assembly Speaker Vincent Prieto, Prieto. Sorry if I butchered your last name. This is the integral part of our efforts to rebuild the middle class. The Democrat-led Senate voted 21-18 on Thursday to advance the measure that would raise the current $8.38 wage to $10.10 on January 1st. I guess that's of 2017. The measure would raise the wage by $1.25 a year, or $1 plus an adjustment for inflation, whichever is greater, for the following 4 years. So, Christie criticized the proposal in April, saying businesses would have to increase prices and accommodate the higher wage by 10% to 15%. You are talking about, is Christie saying this, you're talking about an increase in your food costs because of this Democratic proposal. 10 to 15% on every item you go to the supermarket to buy for your family because of this great idea. Business groups, including the New Jersey Businesses and Industry Association, argued hiking the wage could have a ripple effect on workers who currently earn $15 an hour. Well, I ain't one of them. Never have been either. Prieto and Senate President Steve Sweeney have said they'll pursue a constitutional amendment which would require a voter referendum and could advance without Christie's support if they advance the measure with a supermajority or pass it twice in consecutive sessions. Voters have approved raising the wage in 2013 from $7.25 an hour. Wow. 2013, $7.25 to $8.25. Whoop-de-doo. Like, that was a big increase. And set increased to be linked to inflation. All right, so frankly, I think it's a big dog and pony show. I don't think that the Republicans actually oppose this. 5 years. 5 years. This means that your $1,100, $1,000, or $1,200 apartment in the next 5 years is suddenly going to cost anywhere between $1,300 to $1,500 a month. We've already seen a spike in gasoline tax, or I think it was 23%, that's set to go up. Long story short, transport yourself into the future. 5 years from now, it's going to be sky high. And the insult, okay? The biggest insult to this is that at the end of the day, when everything's been tabulated and bank accounts have been counted, it will be the wealthy corporations who make out like a bandit. It will be big real estate, okay? It will be the banks, all right? It will be big oil, okay? It's going to be big insurance, big auto, everything, every corporation that's already ridiculously wealthy. They're going to be the ones that are going to walk away with their margins in the black, and we, the proletariat or the middle class, you're just stuck right where you were. There's been no advancement. You'll be left with your mind trick. I really wish I could articulate this better. I really wish I could make you understand just how much of your economic situation is one big ridiculous mind fuck. You see, the government needs people like me to make people like you feel better about the things that you have. Look at Total Control. He's in a shit shack, okay, in the woods, drinking a bottle of beer, using his fucking bike light to illuminate the night so that he can blog and shit, My kind of poverty makes you feel better about the ridiculousness that's been provided to you by your wage. You have your plaster houses, your plaster and plywood houses. They look nice. They're very attractive, I'll give you that. They have a very aesthetically pleasing design. But of course, when they're put to the test against nature's elements, suddenly you realize exactly how ridiculous your house actually is. What was I about to say about there was something that was going on in the auto market that something in the car industry that, I forget what it was. But anyway, getting back to my train of thought here. Yeah, so people and corporations that are already extremely rich, they're going to remain rich. People like you, all that's going to be given to you is, people like me. People like me keep people like you happy. I've even had some of my own hecklers online, say to me, "Oh, I've got a job, I've got a house." Okay. I've seen people like yourselves, though, the things you have to do to keep that job, to keep that house, keep that car running. I've seen the hamster wheel. I have seen the discarded tubes of Preparation H, as the stress of the job just makes your hemorrhoids fucking bleed. I've seen the shortened lifespans. Okay, that's what your system is giving you. All right, I want to move on here. Let's see, what else do we have? Yes, we have a. Let's see, I have no idea if I try to back this story away. Hold on, either this is going to work or it's not going to work. About to find out. Ooh. Getting back to Facebook. I did it. I think I'm still going. All right, hold on a second here. All right, let's see what Facebook is talking. I know that we just had a school shooter. They discovered a treasure trove of weapons, a massive cache of weapons, AK-47, some seriously diabolical shit. Apparently, this young teen was completely distraught over his ex-girlfriend dumping him. And he had plans to kill her family, go to the mother's job, kill everybody at the job, including the mother, and then go to the girls' school and shoot and kill them. I think with the whole what was it, Bryce Vesper, the gay black anchor that I was talking about. I think I made my thoughts clear on mass shootings in that regard. Um, Obviously, I don't approve of them. They I didn't choose the name Total Control just because it might sound cool, assuming you think it sounds cool. I am a self-professed control freak. Um, Mass shootings, especially like the ones in Orlando, or other ones, mall shootings, theater shootings, they really do smack of desperation. You are desperate. It makes you look desperate. It makes you look small, and it makes you look incredibly pathetic. Very weak. I am a person who I can enjoy and respect precision of power. You know, you're just lashing out. You don't even know who it is who has wronged you, or if you do, you've done a very piss poor job of articulating it and a very piss poor job of executing your means of revenge. So, the spray and pray mass shootings, it's very ham fisted, it's very amateurish, and I do not approve. Okay, moving on. Let's see. What else do we got going on here? Of course, I really do just scroll past all the child sex abuse. It's so disgusting. The headline alone is enough for me, more than enough for me. I know we've got children. What was it? Was it 6 or 12 girls? Amish sex slave, human trafficking. I really don't need to know the details. Okay. Oh, we got breaking news. Yeah, an armed man in Germany. I believe he has been killed. German media are reporting that a masked man who reportedly opened fire at a cinema movie complex is now dead. Let's see. Moving on. Yeah. Let's see. Supreme Court split on Obama. Plans to shield millions of immigrants living illegally, illegal aliens. There was something else that they were doing. Because frankly, the whole immigration thing, it's a joke. Okay, Caesar Goodson, our Baltimore police officer, not guilty. I don't know. I guess Freddie Gray just magically killed himself? I don't know. You tell me. How many more of these officers are just going to be able to walk away? I've already said it. I'm pretty much done preaching about it. I'm going to say this. This is what I'm going to say about police and their corruption and how they get to abscond away from prosecution. Assuming you can even get them prosecuted. All too often they end up getting acquitted. I believe maybe 3 years ago, I'm going to say. Maybe 4. There were 2 police officers. I know one was Asian and I think the other one was black in New York. A man walked up, shot, and killed them both. I believe this was right around the time of a lot of the nation was just starting to pay close attention to the travesty of justice of unarmed black men shootings by police. The mayor, I'll never forget, not so much what he said, but how he said it. The weight in his voice. His voice was very weighty. Very, oh my God. You know, it was very interesting. I really paid close attention to what he was saying and how he was saying it. This was a person who was actually genuinely terrified that absolute anarchy would ensue, meaning that it was going to be tit for tat. He wasn't just simply terrified over what this civilian did to police, but he was also terrified for what police themselves might do in response. He felt that it could end up deteriorating into a tit for tat turf war. That it would, in other words, that civilians, be them the criminal element or not, and the police, the NYPD, would end up in a gang-style turf war. That's what he was fearful of, that type of deterioration was coming. I have no idea why humans will only respect firearms. It is truly my belief that only an armed militia will rein in police tyranny and corruption. It's sad to say that, but it's not going to happen any other way. I know we just had, in another story, although this, I'm definitely not invoking this story as a means of making my point, okay? What was it? A Dodge Durango, some wild colored, Durango cache of weapons. They're leaving the Holland Tunnel, they get stopped. They're going to go for an extrication. They're about to extract a teen that's strung out on heroin. I think they're strung out on heroin. Again, more hack, ham-fisted fuckery. How is a cache of weapons going to get you to get a person to come away from a highly addictive narcotic? Okay? Do you understand that this girl's jailer, okay, what has enslaved this girl, it is not tangible, okay? She may be staying with persons who might be just as strung out as she is in the cliche drug house, but guns are not going to help you get somebody to recover from drugs. That's just not going to happen. But yeah, it's sad to say, but an armed militia, a well-organized, well-thought-out, well-planned armed militia is the only thing that's going to rein in police tyranny. That is truly my political forecast. The poverty that America is experiencing. I'm going to end on this too because I know this has gotten really long. So this is going to be my last topic I'm going to talk about in this particular edition of Headline News. The poverty that America is saddled with, that we're crippled with, that coupled with the fact that the police tyranny is spiraling out of control, those two things right there are a very dangerous powder keg. Okay, I've already told you in a previous blog how a lot of people's lives are feeling extremely devalued. It's not just simply black people. A lot of people's lives just don't feel like it matters. They slave away. They put their heart and soul into jobs. I know CNN Money did a story on reciprocity um, several months ago. People used to put their heart and souls into jobs for multi decades, and they would have loyalty from the company. Now you're just this ridiculously interchangeable thing. They also, I think, I don't know if it was CNN, but they were also talking about the generational turnover rate has gotten ridiculously out of control. Of course, Facebook is now regarded as, grandma, grandpa's site to hang out on. They talk about what Vencoin something, all these ridiculous apps now, and if you're not up and savvy on the latest apps at your workplace, then you're going to be seen as old and non-relevant. So you got people in their late 20s are being treated as old and non-relevant. So that's why people aren't going to, again, referencing the whole 30-something-year-old staying home with mom. Why are people going to strike out onto these incredibly risky financial burdens of mortgages, cars, the job that they would have to pay for these things? They don't even know if their employer is going to view them as being valuable anymore. Oh my God, I don't know what VidCoin is, or whatever Snap app is, or therefore they're going to hire Bucky. Nobody feels valuable. Money doesn't have value. Our lives don't have value. And police tyranny is spiraling out of control. And this is a powder keg that is brewing and brewing and brewing. We're going to sit there and watch as these law officers who once upon a time got to enjoy a relationship with America that was, a particular sect of America. Norman Rockwell. Okay. I know the little boy lunch counter. I think it might be a state trooper. A very iconic portrait made by Norman Rockwell. This is what police would have. This is the type of relationship they would like to have with a very particular type of America, a very particular white, middle class type of America. And everybody else can just be damned. Everybody else, you're going to get what you get. And of course, if we screw up and trample on your civil rights, well, then that's just too goddamn bad, nigger. Tell you what, we'll send you an apology letter. We investigated ourselves, and we meant to do the right thing. Tell me, how many criminals that you lock up, how many of them get to just simply say, well, I thought I was doing the right thing? Yeah, that's what I thought. This type of egregious misappropriation of police power is coming to a head. The American citizens won't stand for it much longer. Total Control, 871.